I got bad news for you Cleveland Browns fans. The Deshaun Watson saga is not ending yet. According to reports, they are going to be running it back with Deshaun Diddy Watson in 2025. And this is just a complete nightmare for Cleveland fans and just this entire franchise, because you're getting scammed out of $230 million guaranteed. And it has kind of put you in a situation where you got no choice but to draft a quarterback high in the upcoming 2025 NFL draft. Now, I don't think that you're going to get Shedeur Sanders, because I couldn't see Dion allowing Shedeur to go to Cleveland. But I do think that trading up for Cam Ward is in play. And maybe the Browns are one of those teams that are willing to roll the dice and maybe draft Jalen Milroe a little bit higher than where he should be drafted. The potential is there. The arm strength, the athletic ability is all there. And Kevin Stefanski is one of the better offensive minds in the league. So if there was ever a coach who could get the most out of Jalen Milroe and to develop him to become a serviceable starting quarterback in the NFL, I think it would be him. And with this Deshaun Watson contract, it just has strapped you so badly financially that you're not going to be able to afford any of the other serviceable starters that are going to be on the quarterback market when free agency rolls around. You're not going to be in play for Sam Darnold. You're not going to have the money to pay him. And if Justin Fields hits free agency, you might not even have the money to get him. So therefore, your only best option at this point is just to draft a quarterback in the first round of this year's draft. And with Deshaun Watson probably stinking it up for another season, eventually you can get to a point where maybe you can kind of do the same thing that the Falcons did this season. You let Michael Penix sit behind Kirk Cousins, a veteran, for a few weeks, and then when he completely fizzles out and you're just sick of him, you go ahead and you start the rookie quarterback and you go from there. And that's the kind of situation that I think the Cleveland Browns are in at this point, because there's no way you can run it back with Jameis Winston being Deshaun Watson's backup. And I love Jameis Winston. He's my favorite NFL player of all time, but he's just too turnover prone. You can't trust Jameis Winston late in the game because you don't know what you're going to get out of him. And he's just too inconsistent. And with Deshaun Watson, this brother can't play anymore, especially coming off this season-ending injury. There's a chance that he could be a lot worse than what he was before. He may not have the same athleticism. And at this point, the only way that you're going to be able to get ahead of this quarterback nightmare and so be able to get out of it is by going ahead and rolling the dice on a guy like Jalen Milroe that does have the upside to become an elite starter in the NFL. Because if Deshaun Watson is going to have to start next year, you're going to have a guaranteed contingency plan, because you know that he's going to be on an incredibly short leash. This is going to be his third straight season starting for Cleveland, and you can't tolerate any more below average, bottom of the league quarterback play anymore, because guys pretty much are coaching for their jobs. Guys pretty much are, building this team with the mindset of, this is it. We got to go all in. And it's just a nightmare situation for Kevin Stefanski and their general manager, because if Deshaun Watson poops the bed again next year, you could be unemployed. Are you really going to allow that to happen? I don't see how the Browns don't draft a quarterback this year, because that's the only way you can somewhat give yourself somewhat of an emergency plan, just if Deshaun Watson just comes back and he just can't get it together. You can't bank on Deshaun Watson being able to help save your job if you're Kevin Stefanski or whoever their general manager is. You got to go ahead and you got to be on the aggressive. And if you don't feel comfortable getting Jalen Milroe, you got to trade up for Cam Ward. And if that means trading up for the number 1 overall pick, giving up several assets to do so, I don't see the issue in that. Because I'd rather invest all in on a young rookie quarterback than go all in on Diddy Deshaun Watson again, because my job security is not safe at the moment. And I do think that this is an effed up situation that the Browns find themselves in, because I don't think any of us expected Deshaun Watson to just fall off the cliff like this. But talking to one of my homies, he was like, when you get into these kinds of off the field situations, these civil lawsuits, these civil cases, it just kind of messes with you mentally. And it's kind of hard to rebound from these kinds of situations. So with that, the Browns, you got to go quarterback in the first round. You currently have the 7th pick in this year's draft. And with you going to Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I don't see you winning another game this year. So possibly, maybe Tennessee can still win. Maybe Jacksonville still is a win. Maybe the Raiders can find a way to win, because the Raiders are trying to win. They're not tanking because they just are that bad. Antonio Pierce is trying to save his job. It's no guarantee that he's going to be coaching the Raiders next year. So there's a good chance that the Browns, maybe they can luck into the top 3 pick or the 2nd overall pick, and they can put themselves in position to either trade up or be in the spot where they can drive Cam Ward, because that has to be your contingency plan if you're Kevin Stefanski. You got to go up to your front office and you got to say, hey, man, like, there's no way in hell I'm about to bank my future and our job security on this quarterback that is scamming us for $230 million fully guaranteed. We got to go ahead. We got to draft the rookie quarterback. Now, you can say, okay, what if Kevin Stefanski is guaranteed to get another year because they know how bad Deshaun Watson is and they got no other option but to play him next season, because they really don't. You can bench him, but are you really going to be okay having the highest paid backup in the history of the league? Like, you're trying to get everything that you can out of this dude. So, of course, you want to give it one more shot. But if it doesn't work out, you may be in position to draft Arch Manning, Drew Aller, whoever else is going to be the top signal callers in the 2026 NFL draft. But there's a high chance none of those guys want to play for you, because you just have this reputation of being such a dysfunctional franchise that whichever quarterback you draft, their career is pretty much over in a sense. Look how much Baker Mayfield has thrived ever since he got away from Cleveland. So for the Browns right now, you got to go quarterback this year. This is the only way you can give yourself some assurance that, okay, we know that we're going to give Deshaun Watson 5-6 games, and if he still doesn't improve, we're going to the rookie. You know, if you want to take a swing at Jalen Milroe or Cam Ward, Kevin Stefanski is the right head coach to do so.